how can you feed a workshop outcome to an AI so that it makes sense, right? So this is why I've sort of, went ahead and tried to figure out how can we build a canvas that enables teams to build their use cases around segments, the messages we want to use, the moments of truth. So basically talking the customer journey, if you want to boil it down, events, and then what content do we need, right? Sort of 4 elements that are necessary to do a use case, but tie that back into sort of specialized agents that hopefully will develop over time as well to actually help you to have one for a use case builder, task planning, a strategy advisor, a data architect, and an analytics expert. So that's sort of a bit of the backdrop on this. Do you have any questions, Alex?
Not so far. I'm curious to see it in action, of course. This sounds a bit magic to me.
Well, let's see. So we're looking for testers right now. So if you're an organization who sort of struggles with this and wants to elevate how you build use cases, let us know. I'm more than happy to give you access. A simple sign up, right? And then what you can do, and I have a couple of examples here, is you sort of start building out your use cases based off of the overarching strategy, right? That could be cart abandonment or abandoned cart recovery, welcome email series, browse abandonment recovery, first purchase journey. And then sort of once you've defined that initial strategy with like your goal, your KPIs, the business value, and a description, then, click into these and actually start building these out on these 4 sort of elements. So these are just placeholders for the time being. Of course, we can click in. So, for example, lapsed customer win back, the example here. So once that sort of loads up, you can already see how sort of the canvas builds. We have, again, the 4 different categories on the left-hand side, the segments, messages, moments, and the content. And you can then click into these and already have a pretty cool library around sort of segments or segmentation strategies in different categories that you can just use out of the box or always create your own one, right? To say, no, wait, we didn't find anything here, so let me create my own one. And then it becomes this content card on the canvas that you can sort of move around, start connecting, and actually build out your use case, either using sort of the framework that sort of Rasmus talks about in his book around sort of the 4 elements and that bow tie in the background, or you just sort of click it away and sort of, go free and start, building these out, start connecting these dots at the channel as well. I think that's also an interesting one. We've added 49 different channels in here. So you could do like YouTube, Instagram, Google Display Network, press coverage, and then they sort of show up. And now all this information that we see here, including the connections that's been drawn, is basically stored as a structured data element. And then you can start talking to the AI about this, right? So you can like use the use case builder agent, the task planning agent, the digital strategy agent, measurement, and go in and say, we'll do this real time. And as you know, somebody who built this myself, like, let's hope it doesn't break. What tasks are needed to launch this in 6 weeks? Yeah. Okay. Let's give this a shot. AI is thinking. So basically, the workflow is triggered in the background. Always takes a couple of seconds, right, for it to sort of come up with a response. But in the meantime, you could, again, let's quickly look at this. We've got the different messages here. We've got the message. Perfect. So we get an executive assessment. So we've built a solid, well-defined personalization framework for the last customer win-back campaign. So the immediate priority is execution planning with clear tasks for the next 6 weeks. So far, the setup is, and I would love to have input on this, right? Sort of it consulted the task planning agent. It gives you back like the quick insights, a structured 6-week rollout plan is advised, spanning data foundations, KPIs, early phases focused on ingesting. And then you could either just keep that conversation going or like get a full detailed implementation plan. And then you just basically type that in and sort of put it in here. So yeah, we're looking for testers on this to see, is it working for everybody? What should we improve? How is the agent behaving? So if you're interested in this and want to do this digitally with your teams, then give us a shout.
Yeah. Comment,
That's
test.
basically it. Comment, test.
Please comment, test here down.
Comment, test
here,
here
wherever
now.
is comment on.
Yes.
And then we'll catch up on for the conversation.